Okay, continue on with the homework. So I'm going to make sure we are recording. Yeah, good. Question number 38, isn't it? Yeah, 38. Good. So question 38. Let's zoom in so we can see what is going on. There we go. Okay, perfect. Oh, apologies. Question 38 says, for all values of x, you're given this function here. F of x is given by this. Work out the inverse function. So simply here, this is quite a quick question. I want the inverse function here. So we said that previously we can write f of x simply as just y. So y is equal to this. So I've got y is equal to 9x plus 4 divided by 7. And then to get the inverse function, we said before that you just simply switch the y and the x's over. Okay, so that's going to give us x is going to be equal to 9y plus 4 divided by 7. Now to get the inverse function, you've got to go make y the subject, so y is equal to everything. Now, you never want to have fractions, so to get rid of the dividing by 7, you want to times everything by 7. So that's going to go to 7x on the left-hand side. So if I bring the work up to here, that's going to go to 7x is going to be equal to 9y plus 4. Yeah, because the whole point of timesing through by 7 is to cancel out that dividing by 7. Now this here, I can easily rearrange because that plus 4, I can take it away onto this side to give me 7x take away 4 is equal to 9y, and the opposite of timesing through by 9 is to divide this side by 9, which will go just to y, and divide this by 9 to give me y is equal to 7x minus 4 divided by 9. Okay, then simply I replace the y with f inverse of x. So that's going to be the answer. So f inverse of x, the inverse function, is equal to 7x minus 4 divided by 9. That's not very clear, so that should be a divide sign. There we go. Okay, so this is the answer. Let's check the mark scheme. Question 38, 7x minus 4 over 9, perfect. Really good. That was quite a quick one. This one here, it looks like a nice question. I've got two functions here. Solve the composite function g h of x is equal to 24. So I'm putting h of x, which is x cubed, into g of x. So where I see x here, I put in x cubed. So this is going to go to g h of x is going to be equal to, again, I put in h of x, which is x cubed, in for x here. So 16 minus 16, take away, and then x I replace with x cubed. So x and then cubed, which just goes to 16 minus x cubed. Okay, nothing crazy there. Now it tells you that gh of x, which I've just worked out, that this here is equal to this. So I've got this here, 16 minus x cubed. It tells us that that is equal to 24. So this here is going to be equal to 24. Okay, now basically, right, I want to go and find the value of x here. It's a good question. Now I want to get x equals to something on its own. I can get this 16 onto this side by taking away 16 from both sides. So that's going to leave me with minus x cubed is going to be equal to, it's not very clear, is it? It's going to be equal to 24 take away 16, which is going to give you 8. So it's going to give you 8 on this side. Okay. Now you've got minus x cubed. Let's get rid of that minus 1, because it's minus 1 times x cubed. We're going to divide through by minus 1, which will give you x cubed is going to be equal to negative 8. Get divided 8 by negative 1. Let's get rid of this minus 1 on this side. To get x on its own here, I've got to go and take the cube root of both sides, okay? And by doing that, that's going to get x on its own. I'm going to take the cube root, because that's the opposite of cubing something, of negative 8. And this you can do, because the cube root of negative 8 is minus 2. And the reason is, because minus 2 multiplied by minus 2, multiplied by minus 2, does give you negative 8. Because this gives you positive 4, times that by minus 2 again, you do get negative 8. So the answer should be negative 2. That's a really good question, number 39. So let's check the mark scheme. The answer is minus 2. Perfect. Really good question on that one. Oh, there's a part below it, is there not? Is there... Question 40 is here. Quite a quick one. Question 40 is the following. F of x is equal to 3 of x. Circle the expression for the inverse function. Quick question here. Again, f of x, we can replace it with just y is equal to 3x. Okay, so I've got y is equal to 3 of x. To get the inverse function, I switch over the y and the x. That's going to give me x is equal to 3y. Then you've got to go and make y the subject. So you want to go and divide by 3, because that means 3 times y. If I divide by 3, that will leave me with x over 3. And then I can replace this part with the inverse notation. So it's going to be f inverse of x is equal to x over 3, which is this one on the end here. Yep, so that is my answer. Just be careful that we're reading this properly. X divided by 3 is this one. Good. 41 looks like a bit of a humdinger, a big question. It says you've got these two functions over here. Show that the inverse function of f inverse function, is equal to this. Let's just do one at a time. So let's begin by looking at this first part here. Now, before I even put in the 55 into anything, I need to get the inverse function of f of x. So again, write the first part as y is equal to 2x, take away 3, and then switch over the y and the x to give you x is equal to 2y, take away 3. And then you rearrange this to make y the subject. So we're going to go and add 3 onto this side to give you x plus 3 is equal to 2y. And then you want to go and divide everything by 2 to give you x plus 3 divided by 2 is equal to y. And then you can replace this y with the correct notation, f inverse of x. So we've got f inverse of x is equal to x plus 3 divided by 2. Okay. Now the question says you want to evaluate this function here, the inverse of f of x, for when x is equal to 55. So I'm going to substitute in x to be 55 into this, which will give us f inverse of 55 is equal to, then you replace wherever you see x, which is just here, with 55. So 55 plus 3 divided by 2, which gives you 58 divided by 2, which is equal to 29, isn't it? So that's going to go to 29. So the inverse function of x, when x is 55, gives you 29. Okay? Good. Good, good. And it tells us that, well, this, which I've just got down here, is equal to the composite function f g of 4. So I want to go and first of all evaluate g of 4. So replace x with 4 over here. And that's going to give us, so g of 4 is going to be equal to, I put in 4 in for x here, so it's going to be x squared, so 4 squared will give us 4, and then we're squaring that, which will give you 16. So that's what g of 4 gives you. And then you put this here, which is 16, into f of x. And f of x is 2x take away 3. So then we can go and write this. F g of 4 is going to be equal to, and then I put in this value here into f of x. So 2 times 16 take away 3. 2 times 16 take away 3, which will give you 32 take away 3, which gives you 29. Okay, good. And perfect. Right, the question said, I didn't really read the question properly. The question said, show that the inverse function of x when x is 55, which gives you 29, is equal to this composite function, which gives you 29. So you can definitely be very clear there that 29 is equal to 29. Yeah, so it makes sense that the inverse function of x when x is 55 is equal to the composite function f g of 4. Look, if the examiner sees 29 in both of those there, that's going to get you all the marks, okay? I'm just being really clear that they both are the same thing. But that is, if you see 29 written down, you're going to be golden. That is a really good question. Excellent, guys. We're getting there. Number 42. Question 42. says this, a bit of a different one, this one, well, slightly different. It says f of x is given by this, and g of x is given by this. Simplify f, this time, not just of x, of 2x. So this time we go and put 2x in for x, because it's f. So we put in 2x in for x up here. So we can go and say on the first part that f2 of x is going to be equal to 5 minus x, but I replace x with 2x this time. So 5 take away 2x. Okay? And then the second part is where we've got, we're going to add on g of x minus 1. So I replace in g of x, x with x take away 1. So this will go to g of x minus 1 is going to be equal to 3. I replace this x with x minus 1. So 3 lots of x take away 1. And I've still got that plus 7 on the end that I must not forget about. So I've got to go and add on 7. And of course, with any brackets, nearly always expand those brackets out. So 3 times x will give you 3x. 3 by minus 1 is minus 3. And add on 7, which goes to 3x minus 3 is 7 is positive 4. So altogether, f of 2 of x gave us 5 minus 2x, and we're adding on to this gx minus 1, which is this part here. So we're adding on 3x plus 4. So altogether, we're collecting like terms. You've got a, let's go and highlight the things here. I've got a 5 plus 4, which is 9, and I've got a minus 2x plus 3x, which is 1x. So 9 plus 1x, which just means 9 plus x, or x plus 9. They both mean the same thing. So that should be good. Perfect. We're golden. There we go. Good. And then part B is to solve this. The inverse function of g of x equals to 2x. So let's go and look at, again, g of x, which is 3x plus 7. So let's kind of make it a bit clearer. Sorry, let's go over here. I'll zoom in. So just g of x was 3x plus 7. Good. Okay, so just so we can make it really clear. G of x was equal to 3x plus 7. I want the inverse function. Okay, so well, first we're going to go and write that g of x as y is equal to 3x plus 7. Inverse, we switch over the x and the y over to give us x is going to be equal to 3y plus 7. I'm going to go and get this plus 7 onto this side by taking it away to give me x take away 7 is equal to 3y. And I'm going to go and divide everything by 3, which will leave me with y is equal to x minus 7 divided by 3. And of course, I replace this y with the correct notation, the inverse function notation, which is g inverse of x is equal to x minus 7 over 3. So that's going to be really useful. The question says solve this. So we've just shown that the inverse function of g is x minus 7 over 3. So that's x minus 7 divided by 3. And it's been told that this is equal to 2x. This here is equal to 2x. Now, you never want to have a fraction in an equation or in anything. It's just hard to work with. So let's go and get rid of that dividing by 3 by timesing everything by 3, which will leave me on the left-hand side with x take away 7 being equal to 2x times by 3 will give me 6x. And then you can see here I've got x on both sides of the equation. That's never useful. I'm going to get this x onto this side by taking this x onto this side, which will leave me with minus 7 being equal to 5x. I've got 5 times x is minus 7. We want to get rid of that timesing by 5 by dividing through by 5, which will leave me with minus 7 fifths. And that's a bit of an awkward answer, but it should be correct, and it is correct. So that's your answer. X is equal to minus 7 over 5, which is the same thing as minus 1.4. So either of those there is going to be correct. So I hope I didn't work through that too quickly. Yeah, hopefully that was okay. Okay. And then it's last but not least, question 43. We are almost there, guys. You've done very well if you've got here. So thank you for watching as well. We've been given this function here. Work out the inverse function of this. Okay, this shouldn't be too... Oh, okay, you've got x in two parts, so this could be a bit more interesting. Anyway, let's begin by first of all replacing the f of x with y as always. Okay, so we've got y is equal to 2x plus 3 divided by x minus 4. Okay, and then from here you want to switch the x's with the y's. Okay, and you've got two x's here, so this time, well, this y will become x and these x's will both become y's. Okay, so that's going to go to x being equal to not 2x but 2y plus 3 over not x minus 4 but y minus 4. Okay, now I want to get this y take away 4 up here. Now the opposite of dividing by y minus 4 is to multiply. I'm going to write this out, is to multiply both sides by y take away 4. Okay, because then of course they cancel out, which will leave you on the left hand side with x multiplied by y minus 4, which you can just go and write as x multiplied by y minus 4 being equal to, and on the right hand side this goes, so you've just got 2y plus 3, so equals to 2y plus 3. Now this is definitely grade 9 plus, but the same principles apply. You've got a bracket on this side, definitely go and expand that out. Okay, so we've got x times y, which is xy, and x times by negative 4, which is minus 4x, and that is equal to 2y plus 3. Now you want to get, with the same principle here, you want to make y the subject of the equation here. You can see you've got y on the left hand side and the right hand side. Well, let's get this 2y onto this side by taking away 2y from both sides of the equation. Let's go and take away 2y from both parts, because then of course that will cancel, and we're going to be getting on the left hand side xy, take away 2y, the minus 4x is still there, okay, minus 4x, and that's going to be equal to, you just got that positive 3 on the right hand side. Now this minus 4x is not useful on this side, there's no y here. I'm going to get this minus 4x onto this side by adding it on, so I'm going to go and write it out again. I'm going to add 4x onto both sides of the equation, which will leave me, because of course that will cancel out there, that's going to leave me with xy minus 2y is equal to 3 plus 4x. I'm going to bring everything up here just to make it a bit clearer to what's going on. So I'm going to rewrite it. I've got xy minus 2y is equal to 3 plus 4x. By the way, guys, this is definitely grade 9 plus, because you're looking at inverse functions with basically rearranging, where now this part here, you've got to factorize out y from both of these terms, because you can see here, right, you've got a y in this term and a y in this term, so we can go and actually factorize out a y and open up a bracket and say, well, y times x is xy, and y times by minus 2 is minus 2y. Yeah, it makes sense. Y times x gives you this, y times y this gives you this. And that's still being equal to 3 plus 4 and then x. Now this means you've got y multiplied by x take away 2. To get rid of that x take away 2, we're going to go and divide everything. We're going to go and divide both sides. Divide this side by x minus 2. And do the same thing on this side, divided by x minus 2. To keep it consistent, I've been writing it differently, haven't I? I've been writing it as, we're now going to go and we're going to go and divide by x minus 2 on this side, and divide by x minus 2, because then that will cancel with this, yeah, which will leave you with just y being equal to, we've then got 3 plus 4x being divided by the whole thing, x take away 2. And that is it. One more thing to just do now, one more final thing, is to go and say, well, they'll replace this y with the correct notation, the inverse function notation, and say that we've got f inverse of x is equal to 3 plus 4x, or 4x plus 3, all divided by x take away 2. Okay, And this should be the answer. That is a really good question. It's not easy. You've got to really understand inverse functions and what to do. And then when you get to this stage and you think, well, I've got x on both sides here, you've got to then realise and understand, and it comes with practice, you want to get the y's onto the same part of the equation and factorise out a y, which we did over here, and then divide through to leave us the answer. And hopefully 4x plus 3 over x minus 2, that is correct. Okay, again, this part here can be in either order because addition is commutative. And that is it. Guys, if you've watched the homework and you found it useful, well, first of all, right, well done for watching it and well done for doing the homework. It will make a massive difference. Just think about on this homework, if you've been through the whole booklet of questions and you've corrected it to the best of your ability, of course, there might be things that you don't quite understand. That's fine, you can come and see me. But if you've done that, you would have learned a massive amount of content, huge amount. You would have revised so much. If you do that every single week until the exam, you're going to absolutely smash it. These are exam questions. It's the same things you're going to see in the exam. So keep doing it. Keep telling other people about it because it makes a massive difference. I can't tell you how much of a difference this will make because there's only so much we can really do in class. You guys are amazing, but 1 hour in class is nothing, really. This homework will probably take you about 4 or 5 hours, okay? Probably to go through, maybe less, maybe more, I'm not too sure. Probably about 3, 4, 5 hours. But I think you would have realised if you've been through all of this, and it's not easy, but like anything that's worthwhile in life, it takes a lot of hard work, it takes a lot of resilience, it's not easy. But if you stuck through this, you would have learned so much from this homework. So I'm so, you should be really proud of yourself for getting through that. In addition, if you could drop a like on the video, that would be amazing. It really helps me out, and I really appreciate it. But guys, keep up the good work, and any questions or any comments, always comment below. I will try and respond to you as quickly as I possibly can. But keep up the good work. You're really doing amazingly, and I really mean that. So just keep it up, and that is it.